All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday morning. The sound looks like it's good. The piece is up. What do I got up here? There we go. All right. So sorry, I'm scrambling in the last literally 5 minutes. I was like, oh, maybe the baby's going to sleep late today. And then literally the second I hit, the start stream for the countdown, she walks in. I was like, oh, God, I got to get her juice. I got to get her snack and get her play out. So she's zoned in playland right now on my lap. So yeah, cut that one close. All right, so let's just start things off. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We had beautiful weather here. It was nice. Although yesterday it was weird. It was like 78, so like great temperature range, but it was weird. The sun was just like hot. Like it was like baking down on you at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it was like, I don't know if it was the haze or it was like we were under like a magnifying glass, but God, it was just rough. It was crazy. Like you just couldn't sweat. Even though everybody's like, oh yeah, it was low humidity. It's like, yeah, we were baking. But yeah, I had to do 2 practices yesterday. Everybody was knocked out by like 9 o'clock last night. It was so funny. We were like, God, I hope the baby goes to sleep. But yeah, we did. We ran 2 team practices. So my kids had 3 hours of lacrosse practice yesterday. They're both passed out by 8:40 last night. Looked like they were both shot. It was so funny. So yeah. Oh, here we go. Becoming famous yet again. All right, so this week is not as busy as we would hope, but we're already seeing some movement, which I think is great. Hold on one second. Hold on, guys. All right. We're already seeing some movement, and it's kind of what we talked about last week, right? We talked about really kind of what was going to happen with the pound, right? And when we talked about it, we said it just got absolutely just hammered last week. And early week, we were looking for some type of a rebound, right? Well, since Sunday night, we've seen quite a rebound of 114 already. It's only been open for, a little over 12 hours, and then 92 on the pound yen. So again, a lot of movement in here, all right? It's pretty crazy, right? How much movement we've seen this fast with really a little bit of movement, but not much, right? 5 minutes ago, you can see the Bank of England is already talking about, showing, renewed caution. And again, this is what we mentioned, right? Hearing news releases this week. There's a lot of actually pound news this week. I don't know if you guys look at this. And again, in the report, I kind of, we highlighted it. But when we click here for the week, you guys can see that there's quite a bit of pound news really every day, right? Claim account tomorrow, which is their unemployment, right? Then we have their CPI, and then we have their official bank rate. And again, it's not expected to really move too much, but the policy summary is kind of important. And then again, votes, and then retail sales on Friday. So it's kind of a packed week for the pound, right? So a ton of movement last week, down. Now we're already seeing positive, so that should be interesting leading into the rest of this week. All right. Besides that, again, not too much. Euro moving a little bit. Again, there's a little bit of dollar weakness out there right now. And that's kind of what we've seen the last few weeks. We always go into Monday morning with that dollar weakness. I wouldn't say that, there's really nothing over here that I would say is, the Fed decision. I don't think anything's going to come from it. Look at this. Goldman Sachs is saying, yep, I like the pound where it is right now. But besides that, here you go. OPEC sees 2000 world oil demand falling by this amount. Okay, great. I said, I built that report last month. Thank you, OPEC. Appreciate it. And it stinks. So that presentation is tomorrow. So it stinks when you see stuff like this. You're like, oh, I can't put it in because I can't get this approved by legal in time. I can mention it, but I can't put this actually in there. Anyway, so with that being said, let's go back to, I'll just click this so it goes back to today. As you can see, there's no real news releases today. We only have the Aussie tonight, the monetary policy. I don't know if, there may be a bit of movement off of this. It really depends on how much movement we have during the day today in regards to gold and the dollar and things like that to see how much movement we'll have tonight. And it may be good. May absolutely be nothing. It's considered a medium release. But again, monetary policy notes do typically have the power to kind of move the markets, right? So with that said, let's see. The hottest news for the day, not much, right? UK, Parliament to vote on Johnson's plan for Brexit divorce treaty. Yeah, I mean, again, they have so much. You think we have a lot of political maneuvering here. They have more political maneuvering than we do, right? I mean, it's kind of like, yep, this is what we're doing. I love this. By breaching parts of the Brexit divorce treaty. Okay, sure. I mean, he could do nothing and it'll expire as well too. So again, I love that I love that. The European Union cracks me up that they think they have all this power, but they really, really don't. They kind of have proven. And again, if we go into a world recession, guess who's going to be in the biggest threat, right? The European Union. Okay. You guys remember the pig situation? Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. The world goes in recession. You don't think those four names are going to pop up yet again? Yeah, they absolutely will. Absolutely will. And again, they will show that they really just don't have the ability to kind of, throw their weight around like this. So it is what it is. It's like whatever. All right, so let's go right over into the charts. You guys will see that we've removed the scanner. Because we do a lot of this in the mornings or in midday, the scanner is not as helpful for this group. So what I've done, if I've removed the scanner right now, because remember, I am changing streaming software, and I also actually didn't quite match up, and I was having a hard time finding it. So I'm going to probably go this week without the scanner on here. I have a couple of different ideas of things that we can put in there for scanners. It's not going to have the actual setups on there, which is fine. And again, that's something more for just members of the actual class, understanding the different setup positions. It is what it is. So we're removing it for right now. But let's go over into Chartland, and we will start off with the Aussie dollar. Okay. Hold on. The baby just shifted and bumped the microphone. I have to hide my cough on the other side of the desk too. So again, if you guys hear a little voice singing, it is because she is watching her, I guess it's called Little Angel. It's basically just nothing but nursery rhymes. I am so tired of nursery rhymes. Anybody that wants children, they can borrow my daughter, and after 12 hours of nursery rhymes, you will probably not want to have children. Yeah. So, Aussie. As you can see, Aussie is still very, very high up on this curve. So we've been looking for kind of short opportunities really since yesterday. Since we opened, it's more or less chopped sideways. We're sitting kind of right in here is where we opened the week. You can see there was a bit of a gap up and a pulled back, but it was in an area of stability. So when we've seen up, down, and just more or less sideways movement. Last week, we drew an area. We were looking to get short. We wanted to kind of take over, right? Get a bounce off of that retrace. And it's still kind of going, but I'm going to delete some of this just so we can kind of get cleaner images right now. You can kind of see where we're at, right? U.S. traders have not stepped into the market since that time. We've been really bouncing back and forth, and it's in about a 14 pip range, so not really any movement. And again, in the last 24 hours since the open, it's really moved 0 pips, is what Forex Factory is telling us right now. So with the top and bottom on this one, guys, again, until the U.S. trader steps in, there's not much we can do. We can talk about 10 o'clock reversals, and if you look at this area here, we had nice basing, a drop down, and then a pullback retest before it kind of got hammered to the downside. So right now, I'm kind of looking at this area and saying, hey, listen, this could be an interesting setup. Let's see what the U.S. trader does to start off the day today. Again, so far in the last hour and a half, we've been kind of riding high. If we can clear this zone here, we should be able to get up top. And again, in the next 50 minutes, it only needs to move about 12 pips. It absolutely can happen. But that could be an interesting kind of reversal for this morning. All right. And that would be coming in here at approximately 72.97. All right. And again, right now, if this does nothing but come up green, I do love this 1 to 3 profit target. I think that's in a great position for a short. All right. So 72.97 short, rolled back over, down. And again, it would really show no true movement today, but an intraday play. All right. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, same kind of situation. Again, we've seen this one come down a little bit more. Also very, very high on the curve. Looking for this one to bounce back up again. We are closer to an area here down at 77.21 where we have seen buyers step in. And that's kind of what it's bouncing off of right now. I would say really in the last hour, this one has been more sideways. And the reason why is because the Aussie dollar obviously has some association with gold, right? And it is more reliable. It's more of a pure thing, right? Aussie yen really needs the indices to move because that tends to be what the driving factor is. Besides the BOJ, the driving factor seems to be the U.S. Indices, the U.S. market, right? That's obviously not open yet, so we don't really have as much here, right? The dollar is obviously moving because international trade is happening, so people are trading the dollar back and forth, but unfortunately, the yen has not really gotten that kind of oomph yet. So this is a case where Although I love the Aussie dollar short, we don't really necessarily, we're not in range of any type of a short here. If anything, this one is more set up for kind of getting long, right? So again, again, we're in the hourly area. You can see the hourly zone. That's what we're bouncing off of right now. If we get a pullback down, there is a potential long there. Again, from this level, this drop, this base, and then this pop and retest off that area. So I would say we're probably more getting that conflicting signal that this is a long. I do like this range up here. Is that off the 30-minute? No, it was just a kind of a leftover one from before. The 77.50 area up top, I think, is another good area. So that's kind of where I'm bracketed for the Aussie yen. Don't like it as much as the Aussie dollar. Now, Euro yen is kind of one of those ones that we've had this Harry Potter trade set up to the downside that we've been watching, right? Waiting for this thing to collapse back down again. We did get some big bursts last week in this one, right? Some big bursts. Since that time, all it did was really retrace and then it consolidated. You guys can see here very clearly, and again, we should be able to see it on the 30-minute. You can see that there was basically a gap into kind of this buying level, and all it did was it rallied right back up again. It wasn't a bad run, about 24 pips up. Oh, by the way, this was on the Sunday Night Gap list, and unfortunately, again, I was juggling the child and lacrosse practices and all this other stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't get this uploaded in time. I didn't realize that it wasn't uploaded until much later during the day. So it was on there. It would have been on the report, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. After 3 hours of lacrosse, my brain was fried too. And yeah, messed it up. My fault, guys, but this would have been a great one. Right now, there is a zone up top here. Kind of what the issue I had with the analysis on this one is I'm really kind of looking at this level here. Is it the best of levels? Not really. I'm going to turn this yellow. It's not the best of levels, right? Again, it has tested it. It has kind of come back down, and I do like that. But the way that it was formed is not necessarily the best. You can't even really see it here. I mean, you can see it kind of just by the wicks, but for the most part, kind of harder to see, right? I feel like that would be a better entry than this, but it's not the best. Okay, as my one son would say, it's good, but it's not the best. And it's up here at 126.11. I do like it. It does put it back high on the curve on this one. Again, I'm still looking for the short entry, kind of coming back down here, taking over this area. But right now, we're not really. I mean, again, we've had two nice hits in there. We're waiting for that third, and again, for a punch through and kind of push lower. For those of you that were not around last week, that level sitting here at 125.26. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't know. We got to get out of this kind of range, but again, we need the yen to kind of step in here. We need those markets to kind of really come back into it. And I'll delete this now to clear it. What else is going to get deleted? Let's see. This is good. That's not that bad. So this green level, by the way, I'm not going to be able to find the end of it. Use this as your area right here. That's kind of your alert area. And then again, going into the breakdown here, 126. Well, 125.26. All right. So again, top short, bottom short. I don't really necessarily want this for a long. It's proven that it's an area of buyers, but we've already hit three, basically 1, 2, and 3. We're looking for a collapse and a break lower. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to get rid of the one box. There we go. And that was off the hourly. Okay. And actually, you know what? Let's shrink this down a little bit. Let's go there. Yeah, that's fine. We'll use that area. So this actually comes short. Entry is the same. Break of the 126. But we've actually shortened the area a little bit. We're not using the entire green there. We're going to use from the top of this green body. All right, so that's good. This guy. Let's see. Go back up. Let's shrink this back down again. All right, so there was the area last week that we were talking about. We ended up taking a gap off of it. And I mentioned last week a lot of these kind of positions, right? There's only hourly. So as you can see, let's zoom in just a little bit. Right, bam, right there. There is your gap into the zone. Actually, I have to make this bigger. Let's see if I can get this to resize. There we go. Here was your Sunday night gap. Now, we had talked last week about this 135.05 is where we were looking for a gap into that level. It turned out that it actually didn't, it stabilized. It didn't go enough down for us. It ended up bouncing off the near term one. Okay. So again, same type of setup. And again, this is why I know last night that either one of these was good because both of them gapped into the levels. This was a little bit cleaner. And you can see even on the first candle it went up about 30, but since that time it's moved about 117 higher. Okay. Exact setup. Remember, got hammered last week. Obviously, on Friday it stabilized, but it got hammered last week looking for that retrace, the impulse, and then the corrective move, gapping into a level in the 30-minute on a Sunday night. There's your long opportunity. Okay, there's your long opportunity. Now, where we are right now, I do think we're going to run into some issues now. You can see that, again, there's a zone up here marked off with the yellow. There's also a zone sitting right here. And this is kind of where prices had some issues. You can see right here it got turned away. Here it got turned away. Here it kind of got front run. And we're pushing that level again. I don't know that I would necessarily use this as kind of a takeoff or a launching point, but it's something to keep on your radar. And again, this would have been a great profit target for this long because that's where we know that sellers have stepped in the past. So again, kind of watch those levels. We are approaching that level right around when the U.S. market is opening. So kind of one of those things. It's like, let's see what the U.S. trader does in the beginning, get that first half hour out of the way, see what the momentum looks like, and then we can start playing this one again based off of the yen. But right now, the trade of the night was, the start here, the gap into the Sunday night levels. And again, these are set up typically on Friday. I mean, we set them up on Friday morning, and I try to mention as many as I can. Obviously, we need to see what the rest of the day looks like. But again, the fact that we kind of stabilized here and here, this should have been an easy one that everybody grabbed off the open. Okay, and again, 117 pips in what? 15 hours, guys. That's a great bit of movement, right? Especially on a Sunday night, waking up Monday morning, looking into this as far as your profit target goes. All right, so keep that on your radar. There will probably be Harry Potter's higher. And again, any type of push up is kind of a reactionary move to what we saw last week. But if we can rally all the way up to 138.01, again, I do think there are shorts up in here. This was kind of a nice stabilization area before this last push down. That could also be an area with some of the news we have later in the week in the pound for this to roll and kind of flip back over. All right, so keep that on your radar. Pound dollar. Pretty similar. This was a level here that we had talked about. We had a bigger level, right, that we were worried about. And we can see we were looking for, in this one, we have a bunch of different lines up here. Let me get the overlays off, make it a little easier to see. Bam, there we go. All right, so we had a level here. We mentioned this level breaking. Right? Why? Because again, we stabilized here. We punched deep. Came back up and stabilized. It's like, yes, it looks like it's going to break. It's going to push back up again. Now, we had this marked off the whole area. I thought we had shrunk it down to just this green. Not sure why it's not there, but there's the green level that we had talked about. As you can see, we mentioned getting this bounce back down and punch higher off the bigger level. But again, off the green level right here that we had done, I think because of this, we said, hey, listen, let's get really, really short on it. But again, here was that green kind of bounce, the 1, 2, the 3-er, punch up, boom, and high. You are about 40 pips in a profit on that one to the top side. Again, expecting I'm not sure why that one is there because we do everything top side. I feel like this one didn't update. I'm not sure why. Anyway, there was your stabilization point. You guys can see that right there was our gap into the same level again. Didn't really necessarily leave it, but here is your confirmation entry through that break. Not sure why that's like that. It should be there, right? So again, we got about halfway through from the yellow area that we drew. And again, all this was, guys, this was a basing level that we kind of refined back down from the hourly down to the 30-minute. Again, we saw price hit this level twice, get turn around. We were waiting for a breakthrough. The stabilization point is always great when you see it stabilizing inside of a zone. That's typically a telltale sign that, again, if it is pushing higher, it is establishing buyers, right? It punched higher and it went back. And again, you would have been able to use the same level as a takeoff point. And again, in the early morning hours, before the U.S. market opens, that's 50 pips that one moved from that bounce or from that very bottom here. It was about 42. If you can grab 42 before the U.S. market open, remember, opening of markets is kind of a big deal. You have to treat it like a news release. Obviously, we're opening in 8 minutes. You're starting to see it pull it back a little bit. If in the last hour from that pullback, you could grab 40, again, guys, use a pip calculator. Figure out how much money that is in how short of a time. Again, with a big event like the U.S. market opening when retail traders come online, even with one standard lot, you guys should be able to figure out what your day looks like already. Okay, so again, nice little trade setup off that level. Right now, again, I'll continue to see this go higher. It will have some sticking points. I think on the hourly, we talked about the sticking points. Yeah. Watch up here again. Here's a nice little level of basing right where that 1 to 5 profit target is. A little bit higher. Again, this is an area of interest that we have marked off. Be cautious with all those things. At this point, until we get up higher, I'll delete these because I can remove and kind of bring these back again just to kind of keep the charts kind of moving at a faster pace. I got our short here. I'm trying to get better at doing this. I was looking at this weekend and I was like, oh my God, I have objects everywhere. And I thought I did it on both platforms, but I did not. So let me do it real quick here. Do I want to keep that? No, I can get rid of that one. No, we had a bounce through there. Retests. Yeah. Oh, that's a thing. We'll take care of that. See what I mean by a lot of objects in the past? And we just don't necessarily need them anymore. Like I said, try to keep your software moving as fast as possible. And I thought I'd done it on everything, but nope. There we go. All right. There we go. That brings us up to reality. All right. So we're good there for long. Like I said, you're seeing a push higher. Again, I'd be looking for, I'd be looking to take your profit again. You can always put it back on after the fact. But there was, there's typically some initial response to the U.S. market opening for the day. Looking at euro pound. So, euro pound, we talked about this last week. We're establishing a new level. We did get a punch up. We do have a nice little level up top on the hourly now, right? So we're sitting down here right now. This is a level that, again, I mentioned it last week. This is kind of a response to it getting hammered last week, right? I mean, this is huge movement in 4 hours. I mean, for this pair, you're talking about 125 pips. Again, ways to play this one would be a punch through. Again, we're getting really, really close, but a breakthrough of really this 92.10 area. Look for a punch down, and again, it's putting in a red. The green was a little bit high. Again, we're looking for a kind of a push back again down to this level down here at 90.91. Now, nice thing about this, we even mentioned it last week that if we need to get some type of a true level to kind of base it off of, we'd wanted to see a kind of a retape. We wanted to see a basing. Well, we got the basing. We got the level in here now. My daughter, I must be talking loud. My daughter's covering her ears. I'm messing up her songs for her tunes. But something along those lines. But I do think this one can run all the way back down to 90.91. All right. Love me some coffee. Jinjin, is your hair in your face? I realized what I forgot this morning. She woke up and I was most important about getting her some juice and everything like that and some stuff again. Did not brush her hair. And she has like a lion's mane for hair. Mommy has very, very thick hair and she took after mommy. But again, looking for this one back to the downside. Euro dollar. So euro dollar has been rallying also, which is funny because it's, you're seeing that dollar strength, or you're seeing the pound strength, but you're also seeing this, basically dollar weakness right now. And this is what we've seen typically on Sundays. You can see a push down, kind of push back up, drop back down again, and then kind of took off. I'm thinking we're looking for 119 on this one before we can really kind of roll. And again, this is on the 30-minute. It's not the ideal area. It's about 18 pips wide. But I do think if we can rally back up again, maybe before 10 o'clock, it's only about 18 pips. This one may be a little bit later. Again, with lack of news, Monday morning, it's going to have to be that initial response. Oh, the dollar sucks. Okay, great. It's not that bad. All right, boom. And then kind of have it roll back over. But I think 119 is where we're kind of looking to get short. Ideally in this one, again, this is a big zone, a thicker zone based off of what the typical level looks like here. I'm kind of more looking, guys, on this one for like one of those failure to go higher situations, right? The nice kind of basing level, the pullback, and then the retest of it. Not so much a spike into here and then a drop, but kind of one of those like, where we come up, we hit it, we pull back again a little bit here. And then we kind of have one of these like, like this, where it doesn't get as high. And then we take, the continued push lower, right? And again, what would happen is we'd have some type of level formed off of there. Hold on. I was like, wait, why is this not working? Let's change this to black. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I was like, wait, this would be such a great drawing, but it's not working. Right. Whoops. No, not none. Right, like that. Something along those lines. Right, something like that. something along those lines, right? So again, not just a hit and a drop, kind of seeing a drop, a kind of pullback on this one, and then a pullback up in that area. Something along those lines is what I'm kind of looking for the euro dollar. We are kind of where we are right now is kind of in the middle of the curve, right, on the hourly. So it's not ideal for either direction. It's kind of in that no man's land, middle 33%. But again, you guys can see that price has been turned away from here before. Nice spike up, nice spike down, and we really wanted to just refine this 1 hour level because you can see it's a thick level, right? On the hourly, you're talking about 30 something pips, not necessarily intraday trade type risk levels. All right, so again, drop that down to a 30-minute, refine your risk lower, look for a punch up, have it form a new level, pull back down, reach down, and then obviously collapse. All right, dollar CAD sideways. Not much in dollar CAD. Again, 132.40 on top, 131.06 on the bottom. This kind of like pitter patter back and forth is only about 8 pips. Your spread on this one is going to be 2 typically as an average. So again, it's only got 6 pips movement up or down. Not really an acceptable risk level. It's great when it does this, right? Oh, look, it's bouncing back and forth, Brian. It's channeling. Yeah, it is. But you're talking about a range between these two channels that is... Oh, I guess it's 25. My fault. Sorry, it's 25 pips. But again, with the risk level that you need up top of being 14 and 16, again, it's not even a 2-to-1 in between those two zones. All right, so again, a little bit kind of harder of a level to play right now. I really wanted to break out. I wanted to go higher or low. I think that will give us very clean opportunities. It doesn't, obviously it's not going to be a today thing. And again, going back over to scanner realm, okay, this is what the CAD looks like this week. Right? Thursday and Friday, we got their non-farm and retail sales. So we don't have anything from them besides the news as a factor for the dollar CAD this week. It will be dollar-based. And again, there's nothing we can do about that. It will be dollar-based. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right, dollar Swiss. Yeah, dollar Swiss. So this one has come back up to that same level. We've hit it. And then since this weekend, we were sitting right... Where's it at? Right here, right? I wouldn't say this is an impressive gap one way or the other. It just kind of continued what it did. And again, the story for the weekend was dollar weakness. All it did was bring it back down. So, where we are now, it is kind of an interesting opportunity. 90.61 has been an area where we've seen buyers really kind of step in before. It's a zone that we've had marked off. And again, it's coinciding with the U.S. market open. I'm interested to see if this one holds. Like I said, it's an interesting opportunity. The risk is not very big on this one. The question is, and again, we've touched now, I kind of want to see some type of a confirmation. If we hold here for the next 30 minutes, I'm probably going to start leaning into probably more of a bullish position. Like I said, I expect this opening to be very dollar weakness specific. All the at-home traders are looking at this in the last couple of hours like, oh, there's dollar weakness, the dollar's weak, dollar's weak, dollar's weak. They all start selling. That's where the dollar strength comes in, right? And that gives us kind of a punch over. So, that's what it looks like, right? Okay, let me clean some of these back up. We got this. Let me remove this. This entry is already triggered. You can see we went through the full profit target on that short. Let's pull this. That target's fine. We'll leave that there. Take that off. You can take this off. That zone is fine. We can leave that there. All right, yeah, so we're clean on this one. So you guys can see we're approaching a level, again, very fast drop in, very kind of big bounce out, and it retraced that one back. That's why I'm looking for, again, kind of a pullback into the zone, some basing, and then kind of a punch and confirmation to go higher. And I do think, a target on this one, 30 is sitting right here in this level. So again, this is just a rough drawing. This is not an exact one, but something along kind of like right in there, right, is what I'm looking for. That would put our profit target right around 90.90, and that would be like a 30 pip profit target on that one to the top side. So again, rough drawing on that one. I'd like to see where this, this push down, where the stabilization occurs. And then once we get the stabilization, some type of a pop kind of confirmation to the top side on this one. This one's not as clear. This is kind of one of those like wait and see. We're close. Very close for a trade entry, but it's not in the ideal situation. No, we're not trading this one, Jen. She watches 20 minutes of something and then clicks the next video. It's so funny. She has no patience. All right. So here's that market trader coming online. There's nothing. Dollar's weak. Okay, everybody sell it. Dollar yen. It's weak. It's weak. It's weak. But look, I'll extend this across. There. Okay. Now this one was about a 10 pip entry in there. What? Yeah. Remember, guys, this one is not active yet. We need that to complete. And then we are looking for this. Okay. Now, for this one to occur, again, right now, this is a dollar weakness, right? This is the weekend. And again, this is another one of those weekend gap ones. I'm mad that I messed it up, right? But here was the weekend gap set up. Again, I got to double check that I hit upload on this. Doesn't always work. But we ended up pulling back. We grabbed it, and then there was just short for the weekend. It was a really great week for caps, guys. It was a really great week, and it was totally my bad. Yeah, 6 hours of lacrosse practice got me. Missed the upload. It's all typed up. It just didn't get uploaded. But there's your pull down for the week. So what I would do is I'd wait for this to continue to punch through, wait for a pullback, and then a continued drop to the downside. So for this to happen, we do need to have either continued dollar weakness or we need people to kind of forget about the dollar and focus on just the U.S. indices. So we're going to need some movement for this one to occur. I still think it's valid. I think it would be pretty nice. Yes, there's babies. She's infatuated with babies. Yep, she's going to start talking now, guys. So I apologize if you hear her talking. It's typically what happens. But again, a punch lower, a pullback, and a pushback down on that one, I think is probably a decent run. And again, it's right where we are right now. The break of that one is 105.76. Profit targets on this one are down here at 105.45. All right. And Q. So let's see what we got here. So I'm jumping down on the 15-minute. Last week, we were kind of talking about two different areas, and you can see this one got punched through pretty hardcore, right? Right there. So that's where we're at right now. Okay. Got a little bit of a gap. Right now, I would say, nothing is like super impressive with this one. Trying to see if I'm going to use this gap or not. Probably not. And I don't love this one, but you can see, all we've done is we've come back up and grabbed some levels here. Wouldn't say any of this is clean. Again, 15-minute wise, this is a level we drew last week. It's approximately sitting up here, 11,331. Honestly, right now, the way this is moving, I would have to agree with this. It is on 15-minute. These are some of the pre-morning hours, but look at this. This was a retest and a punch back down, and then there's your open punching back down again. So I got to say, and maybe I need to move. Maybe going forward, I'll move NQ, ES, and YM to the very, very beginning because again, we're getting to them right now at the open. But there's your response, and unfortunately, there's kind of what your opening trade should look like. Again, pulling back to that zone at the open. I don't think this one is bad. I think this would be a great little kind of morning snack here. Going much past the 1 to 3, I think it'd be a little bit risky. And again, I'd be very cautious with this area. It's already stabilized on the bottom side and kind of did a confirmation check, pull back, and then boom, punch higher there. So going much deeper than that, I'd be a bit cautious with. But again, opening snack, you guys are good there. I'd be cautious at this level right here. Right, you indice traders. Again, punch up. Again, it is Sunday, so I do get that. But again, it did spend some time here, and then before finally leaving. I think as far as areas where we'd be willing, again, if we can get all the way back down here to 109.84 today, I do think that's probably a viable level. Again, it's sitting right above this zone here. If we have a break, remember, we do have a Harry Potter just a bit lower. So right now, again, there's your opening snack. Again, 11,331 could be a nice little short. And again, if we don't get the bounce that we need, that kind of confirmation entry, there's also another one sitting up here at 11,399 or 11,400. Either one would work. And again, that's a punch down, a retest of a level, a wick over wick, and then a collapse to the floor on the bottom. All right, so that's NQ. Let's see S&P. Did we already get the movement? I mean, we got the entry last week. We can take these off right now. This is clear. Oops, hold on. Maybe I don't want to delete all that. Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Right now, I'm going to delete this. Right now, we are stuck in this level. Okay, so we kind of need this thing to move top or bottom. And this is that old area. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this because it'll confuse you guys. We'll do it this way through there. So we're sitting in that level. Again, looking at this on a technical basis, it does look like it wants to go down. We have some sellers above, a little bit more basing, kind of a chop, obviously, at the open. But again, not really giving us a big kind of a big extreme push to the top side. With levels, I would say there's levels sitting here. There's some levels sitting back here. You can see the green kind of pull back into this level here. So right now we need to clear this level one way or the other. Again, you can see the indicator is not grabbing anything. It's too flat. Need a little bit more, but with the way that this is based and pulled back, if this doesn't push any higher, I mean, if we don't get a concerted push up right now, if this starts to turn red again, I would say that this is probably heading back to the downside as well. Don't like this one as much as far as an entry goes. Again, stabilization here. We're really stuck in this level right now. We need to clear this one. So we need this one to move a little bit more. Like I said, there may be, look at 10 o'clock. We can drop this one down at 10. But, if this one rallies up, God, it's not. Fortunately, Monday mornings, I hate the indices because there's not like a pre-morning trend of people. But again, something up here at 33.81 would be a nice place if we could grab it. But I just, looking at this one, I feel like this one is also bound to, kind of punch back to the downside. I think the trade would have been the NQ right here, but this one is not as good because of the basing. Dow. All right, so the Dow, you guys can see last week, we ended up punching back into it before pulling back lower. And again, we got the down, the pullback, and the retrace. Here's where the weekend ended. So had you held this one, right, over the weekend, which we don't typically do, again, it kind of went and get you, and we're back in the same zone. Nice trade set up here, and again, going this deep. Let's see. This got to its deepest point at about 2 o'clock on a Friday. You guys know my belief on this one. If you're holding a position past 2 o'clock on Friday, you're probably doing this wrong. So again, once you got the entry, even here, this was right about here was about noon, and just take it and run. Take it and run. Or, again, trail the sucker down, right? That's what it would look like. Here was once you get the basing here, you would have been trailing this thing. You should have made this one at probably a 2-to-1 is where you should have grabbed your profit target on this one. Because, again, you're not going to hold this into the close. Come on, guys, really? But right now, we're in the same level. We'll see what it can do. I don't know that I would take this for another short again. I kind of want to see kind of the same thinking on this one. That zone's going to be too big. Let's use this as the level here. Now, I am on an hourly, so this is going to be a little bit bigger of a zone. But I would say that we got something up here at 28.094. Okay. It's probably the closest entry, right? 28.094. And again, this is a level that we'd seen here. Again, formed a nice top on it. It retested here one time. It's probably due for one more retest. One more bounce. Right to the downside, but that would be a punch up. Now, you could also use this level as kind of this Harry Potter continuation. If it comes up and starts to base in this level, that's typically the telltale sign that it is going to go higher. It's forming kind of some, it's forming, in this case, it'd be forming buyers, right? So again, if we can get this pattern here, this punch up and down, that could be another kind of, lightning bolt Harry Potter to the top side. Wouldn't worry about this one as much. Again, the 28.075 is probably another level, but that just sneak in right before the 1 to 3 for a target in there. And again, it's kind of a bump. If we stabilize, again, look for the second push all the way back up. All right. Gold. All right. So gold. Kind of just sideways, right? We're sitting here right now on Friday. Friday was the 11th, right? Make sure my days are correct. Yes. Friday, the 11th, we were sitting right here. So we're more or less in the same spot. And you can see, again, here's that fair to go higher at the top. based, pulled back up and dropped. All we did yesterday was kind of bounce off that same level and push back down again before we grabbed the bottom here, which again was a drop, punch up, pull back, and go, right? This is that same pattern, right? Here, I'll draw it for you. There. Pull back, which is this red pullback. No, Jin. And punch back up again. Okay. Oh, can I use my second hand? You guys can see right there. 1 to 3 was sitting right here where we had buyers turn around. All right. So here's the entry. And again, I can move this across if you want, but it's there. It's there. And it's there. As well as it is once again. Here is the next retouch. It's there. It is here. And it is here. And in this case, it went even all the way up to the 1 to 5. But I'd be cautious with the 1 to 5 because of this target and this target. But again, boom, boom, boom. Came down, boom, boom, boom. 2 of the same ones in Sunday night. Okay? So, delete those off. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. Would I use that level again? Probably not. Would I be looking for more at this point? Probably more looking for this zone. Right? Maybe looking for this zone as a rollover point. If we get the same pattern, right? This is a powerful kind of hit it, boom, and bounce. Hit it, boom, and bounce. If we get the same thing, hit it, boom, and bounce. Back to the downside. Okay? For gold. And that level for you guys that cannot see it on your charts is sitting at approximately 192.62-ish. Okay? Again, use the top of the red body inside of this kind of last peak. And again, there's many different things up here. You know, on the hourly, you can see we have levels up here that we're looking for. Numerous different entries up here in this zone. Again, bigger one here, smaller one over here. And again, approximately in the same area, right? 1964, 1962, right? On the same thing, whether it be 1 hour or using this smaller time frame. Okay. Silver. Silver's just ugly. I hate silver. I put it on here because everybody's like, oh, silver's going to $8 million. It's not. Not anytime soon. Not until inflation comes in, right? This was all the, hey, everybody should buy silver. And then it went straight back down. So I still think 27.36 is a good level. It is sitting in a level right now. You guys can see here, there was this level of basing, right? Right here. And that's what it's going off of right now. Okay. This one kind of had some entries, but I wouldn't say they were clean as gold, so I don't want to spend too much time on this one today. It did punch up at bases and it's pushing higher. Again, this is already a tested level, would have been a great target off any type of these longs, but the reality is you can see that there's a line between these two. We didn't really even get the entry on the downside, so I'd love to tell you that there was a long, you should have got long here and should have got long here, but the reality is, guys, you see how there's a white, or I guess it's a gray background, but see the gray line right here? We didn't get in. I love the people that augment the charts. They're like, hey, look, I told you. I mean, we were looking for stuff here and it didn't hit. So again, it came up, but this would have been a profit target that you needed to hit before it went higher. And 27.36 is, you know, again, that's the next time we have an entry. If we can get that confirmation bounce, sure, go for it. You know, go for that one. All right, so let me grab our favorite commodity. I don't know if it's our favorite commodity, but it is the only commodity we use that I need to do externally. Trading View, U.S. oil. Let's see. Full feature chart. Give it to me. Give it to me. There we go. All right. So that's what we had going last week. Okay. Sitting here right now. Right. Let's go back to the 11th. The 11th at 13 was right here. Okay. We're in the exactly same spot. Did not hit our entry bottom. Did not hit our entry back top. And I think both these levels are still valid. We got to watch out for them. So we're still looking for longs at 36.51, or if we can pop up here, 38.07. With OPEC making statements about seeing lower demand for a longer period of time, typically not the best news for oil. Haven't seen a huge reaction off of it at this point. Let me see how many hours ago that came in. Hour and a half ago. So again, that's what led us to this little spike right here. Actually, I'm sorry. They're saying, oh yeah, oil demand for 2020 is falling, but see 2021 oil demand rising, which I would disagree with OPEC, but that's nice thinking. I love it. We're going to give you a further revision this year. I think anybody right now here, this is what I'm looking at, just so you guys can see. Okay. I think anybody that says, hey, we see better, oil, rising back again. Right. And the reason why this is rising is because this is going lower. Okay. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. And this is why this is complete BS. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. Okay. This is how you look at this. People say, oh, there's going to be, okay, great, it's going to go up. Well, look, they're lowering this demand by 9.46, right? Now they're saying, oh, but we see this rising more than this. So which one is bigger? No, get your foot out of there. Is this, but this is dropping more than what they thought for this year, but then next year it's rising up, but not as much as what this one went down. So is that positive or negative for oil demand? Answer is it's negative. Okay. Above and beyond that, we really don't know what 2021 demand is going to look like for a number of different reasons. When are people most at risk to get sick? Like things like the flu, okay, the fall, the winter, okay. Northern Hemisphere is getting ready to enter that period of time right now. I don't know how many people. I mean, at this point, I don't know, and I don't know anybody that's taking an untested vaccine. More power to you if you want to be one of those people that you can. I have a feeling that we will see some more of their second waves, third waves, whatever it is, and not even so much waves, but I think there's going to be a lot of confusion around the flu. I think a lot of business owners at the end of the year are going to see that their profits were not as high as what they originally expected going into the year, but I do feel that they will see more success in the teleworker, the remote worker. Okay. With that greater success, think about it as a business standpoint. Do you necessarily need to pay for an office for someone that has had the same productivity level when they are home? Maybe they'll come in for half a week and maybe somebody else comes in for half the week and shares a desk. But do those people need to be there? I don't think so. Okay. I think that this was inevitable of people working more from home. And I think COVID has now forced that. But I do feel that that is something we need to see. Okay, OPEC is always going to talk about this because they need to remain positive because it's money in their pocket. So, of course, they're going to say, hey, we see it going higher. But, again, you guys, this is kind of going into tomorrow's presentation. Whoops. If you go into tomorrow's presentation a little bit, what you can see is everybody expected there to be lower demand this year, even before COVID came out. COVID did not help that. It made it even lower, and it's changing the way that we're doing things. If people start to get sick or anything else, people will go back home, schools shut down, all that kind of stuff, also lowering demand. But if you look at the fuels and the renewables, there's higher investments than ever in those right now. And it's being led by China. Okay. The person whose oil usage growth is going up the most is also the one that is most invested in the renewables. Not necessarily good for oil, right? OPEC is kind of a shadow of its former self with power. So it's great that they see this, but it is interesting that they're admitting that is more than what they previously saw this year. And yes, it's great that next year they see it more, but this drop of 9.46, by this is bigger than what this number is. So yeah, so we have that. All right. So again, be cautious with oil. This is where right now it's stabilizing more than anything else. I don't see any great movement top or the bottom. The cat is playing with the other phone. Lovely. I was like, why is there flashing over here? The cat is scrolling up and down. All right. So that's what we got, guys. Like I said, oil, nothing exciting right now, 38.55, and down here at 36. But again, small level down here at 36.51. I think they'll be in play today. Oil inventory report this week should be cool because, again, we had a red number last week. I think this week we will have a green number because they will kind of over adjust. But, again, $37 in oil again is, kind of interesting, right? All right, so with that said, guys, we are right at 9:51. We went a little bit early today, as we do typically on Monday mornings. There's just not as much to talk about because the markets really haven't gotten open and really started functioning yet. As you can see, Forex Factor, again, the pound is still getting hammered. Nothing there has changed yet. Dollar CAD is now down a little bit. Again, this is that dollar selling at the open that we talked about. People seeing that weakness. And, that will probably turn around maybe even in 9 minutes. But, again, not surprised there. So let's go ahead and do our giveaway. Monday morning, you guys are slow to get in. Exclamation point ticket will get you into Pip Chips. It is for 25. Debbie was our winner last Friday. So she will get her 100 Pip Chips if she wins today. And we'll see how it goes. Who are we missing here? James has been sleeping on Monday mornings. I know that. Bay Street is in. Ross is in. Who else are we missing? Will, are you in here yet? Oh, yeah, Will's right there. All right, so I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds, partially because I am out of coffee or almost out of coffee. There's Saul. Welcome. Good morning, Saul. Debbie's like, oh crap, I'm winning. I'm going in big on this one. I'm gonna buy my way. This is like poker, right? I'm gonna buy everybody out. I'm gonna be the big blind. I'm gonna buy everybody out of this one. Ernest on Monday morning says, oh yeah, I'll buy you back. Because again, remember, if Ernest wins, he's still pip chip positive for the day. Right? He's still pip chip positive for the day, blocking with 3. All right, there we go. Let's see how we go. Winner of today's drawing. Can Debbie keep the crown, or will Ernest dethrone her as being the anti-hero, right? Or will one of the single tickets take it today? Winner of today's drawing is Ernest. So we need to cue the Imperial March music. Ernest, as the anti-hero, is still pip positive on the day and was able to block Debbie's win. Look at that. Take that. Ernest is starting off the week strong. Debbie needed 4 tickets to win today, and she wasn't able to do it. I love the pip chips. This is one of my favorite things that we added in here. It's definitely a blast. This week we got to do some other drawings as well. Marina's like, all right, I need to turn the hacks on. Debbie's like, I'm taking the gloves off. It's on now, guys. The rest of this week. Also, remember, guys, tomorrow night, I don't have the link on me right now. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me get it. Hold on. Let me see if I have the registration link. Nadex webinars, maybe? Is it under webinars? I don't know. Education courses? Upcoming webinars. Let me see. No. No. You know what? Wait, hold on. Daily FX Education Summit. I have a different link than you guys have, unfortunately. Here we go. There we go. I got it. Who the heck is that? 3-day event starts here. Dan Cook. Wait, where is it? That's day 3. No, I went day 1. Day 1 is where all the winners are, man. Give me day 1. Hold on, guys. No, I don't need this. Let's see. Tomorrow. Wow, that's pretty bad. Can't even find it. All I see is day 3. Oh, here we go. Day 1. Here we go. That's funny. They only have Chris Vecchio. It's a one-time event. All right, here we go. I'm going to post it inside a chat. If you guys haven't already signed up for it, please go sign up for it. I think you will get a replay as well. The replay, again, they just send you the replay by email. But like I said, I'm doing a talk tomorrow on basically gold and oil, and talking about will the pandemic cripple oil, what we'll do with gold. And again, it's got some interesting reports beyond what we typically talk about. I start going into some reports put out by BP, talking about OPEC reports, talking about some interesting, not theories, but basically proof on gold and why gold is not necessarily the investment that many people think that it is. And again, if you question kind of where the investment came from, I can show you the chart. And when I started putting this presentation together, we were back here, and I talked about how gold is not the investment. Beginning of August when I had to build a deck. I was building a deck right here. Okay. As you can see, the response of that was a huge drop. And again, we have still not gone back to all-time highs. And people are like, well, why not? Why are we not pushing there? Again, I go into it tomorrow. All right. So please, everybody, go out there, register for tomorrow's event. I don't get anything fancy. I don't even know if they track it back. This is just a Daily FX link. But it's always great to have more people register to share what we have tomorrow. All right. So with that said, I am out of here, guys. I will catch you tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow will not be on from 8 to 9 a.m. Tomorrow, I'm doing this presentation at 3. I don't want to do 2 webinars in one day because I'll be wiped out for the second one. And this is a pretty big deal. This is my first deck/presentation that is getting, I guess, approved by the bigwigs. And I say the bigwigs, I mean the actual, the regulators, not just a company regulator. The regulators are approving this one because, again, Daily FX had to put this forward. So pretty excited about that one. And again, for those of you that don't know, on day 3, I'm the headline speaker on day 1. The day 3 speaker headliner is actually a guy that I started He's actually the second mentor I had for forex, and he's probably the reason why I'm anal about holding yourself accountable. It's all his fault. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Good trading today. Like I said, look for these initial responses, look for rollovers, and again, keep your eyes peeled for any type of news, retracements, and things like that. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.